This is going to be a mini training, mini activation, taking you into energetics of sales objections and how to eliminate them. You know, those sales objections such as, I'd love to work with you, but I can't afford it. Or I'm not ready yet. Or I will need to do this later. Or, you know, I think I'm not sure I may need to do this later. Or I'm not ready. Or sales objections such as, I really, really love this, but maybe I'll do it myself this time. So I'm pretty sure that if you've been in a business for 2 minutes or longer, you already looked into how can you overcome these objections, typically, linguistically, etc. So that's not a lot how we're going to talk about, but I want you to take it to the core of why are these objections coming up again and again. If you have some really, you know, objections that are coming again and again and again, and you're getting frustrated, there is some work to do on your part. And then we will go through 3 ways how you can help to eliminate these objections. How can you support the clients? Okay. However, first and foremost, answer this question truthfully. What is your first reaction when you do hear some sales objection? What is the first, you know, emotion that comes up when perhaps you're talking to an incredible client and they will say some of these objections, such as, you know, I think I really am called to work with you, but I don't think I can afford it right now. Or, but now is not the best time, or I'll have to really think about it. What is your first reaction? If your reaction to it, your first reaction to it is like, oh, again, or what a shame, or anything like that, that will tell you that you're want to shift a little bit the energy from which you look at these sales objections, but also energy from which you sell. Because here is the thing, we can either sell from the energy from headspace, meaning I really want to sell my product, I really want my clients to buy, I really want to hit my sales goals, etc. That's selling from head. Or we can sell from heart, and that means that we no longer are interested about the head and our needs and desires, which will be taken care of, but we perceive sales as a sacred container when we simply support our clients to make right decision for them, yes or no. That's all. And no, yes or no is better. We are guiding our clients to make a powerful decision for them, whatever that decision is. So then, when the sales objection comes, it's not, you know, it's not like, oh my God, I need to now find a way how I'm going to reframe this sales objection, and how that's the head. How I'm going to, what do I need to say so client will understand that they need to step into this and that they'll buy? No. When the sales objection comes, first and foremost, you acknowledge that, you know what, sales objections are really a sign that client is really called into that which you've got to offer. They're really called to step into that higher self or experience the transformation or result which your product service is offering. But they have fears. There is something that is, the sales objection is masking. So then the entire objection handling becomes about honesty, becomes about showing client another way. It's completely different dynamic. But really, if we simplify it, there are 3 ways how to eliminate the sales objections. 3 ways, if we simplify it. And the first one is major, and that is clearing your energetic field that will stop mirroring those sales objections. What I mean by that? We're talking about here about those sales objections that you experience again and again. So for instance, if it's been your experience that you're getting same objections such as, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. If you're getting that objection and again, then your first job, first and foremost, will be to go into yourself, be really honest with yourself, look at the energy that is underneath this specific sales objection and clear it from your field, meaning let go of that pattern within yourself first and foremost. Because if you don't, look, business and clients will keep mirroring it again and again and again. So what I want to take you through is a simplified version of these objections and energy they hold, so that you can clear this pattern within yourself, eliminate these patterns within yourself, so they no longer need to show up again and again in your business. Okay, so we'll simplify it a little bit here for this purpose, but it will still give you a really good idea. So one of those objections is, of course, I can't afford it. This is a version of the archetypal pattern within ourselves that is a victim pattern. And the victim, if you simplify the objection, it says, I cannot, I'm helpless. I cannot, I'm helpless. So it can come in many different forms. So one of the most common ones perhaps is, I can't afford it. I cannot. Or I cannot do it now because, or I cannot because something external, because my kids need me now, or I have a different priorities, or this and this needs to happen first. It simply will be, I cannot. It's a version of, if you take it into the fullness, I need to wait for my savior or the circumstances outside of my life to in my life to adjust themselves, so then I can. So that's I cannot. So basically, and I'm really aware that I'm talking like fully, and you know that may not sound compassionate, but I'm saying this from deepest compassion, because of course every one of us have been there, including myself. We've all been in maybe periods of our lives when we truly felt I cannot, or I cannot afford shit, you know, or I cannot do this because I don't have enough resources, don't have enough time, or whatever it might be. But that is purely because we were not claiming the power back. The victim in us was active and like asking for attention, like, hello, look through this illusion. So this is what you'll need to do for yourself. Start looking, where is that illusion in you that you are giving the power away? So there is a one simple or couple of questions for it. First and foremost, you're going to ask yourself, where am I truly giving power away from myself to external circumstances, to someone or something else? Where am I giving my power away? Please be honest when you will be doing this reflection. It's uncomfortable, but it will give you insight into why you're hearing again, I can't afford you, I can't afford you, I can't afford you, for instance, and really leaving huge amount of clients and huge amount of incredible clients on the table. So have a look, where are you giving your power away? Then you'll ask yourself, how can I take my power back today? How can you claim my power back more today? So for instance, if you've recognized that you've been waiting, I don't know, for, and it doesn't have to be directly to business, it can be anywhere in life. If you recognize that you've been waiting, I don't know, to make a move around the house you want to buy because the market conditions are not perfect, go and make that move, or put that house on sale, or something like that, that will no longer, you will be in that I can't, no, I can. I'm not going, you won't be in I'll wait, but no, I'm master. I'm a sovereign of my life and business. So you want to start breaking these victim patterns so that I can't will not be in your energy, will not be your guiding mechanisms consciously or unconsciously in any extent. Does this make sense? I can't because I can't. So ask yourself, where am I giving the power back? Where am I telling myself I can't because? Whether it's I can't afford it or it's I can't because something and somewhere else. So this is through this work. And no, it's not easy work, of course. Every one of these, when you clear your energetic pattern, energy field, it's not just about, let me clear my chakras, even though, of course, it helps, okay? Or meditation, of course, it helps. The most powerful energetic work is when you actually are changing you create a change, you make a new choice, and you make a new choice that will lead you outside your comfort zone and in a direction of who you truly are, your vision. So that's what you'll want to do here, okay? So that's how you clear I can't afford the victim pattern. So it no longer needs to mirror in your client's behaviors. The next energy, if you simplify, that is maybe showing up a lot in your business experience is the saboteur or logician consciousness. And that is basically aspect of ourselves that is prime function of our inner logician or saboteur is to keep us where we are, safe, away from unknown and danger, quote unquote danger. So it wants to protect your current self-identity, your current self. Stay here, stay here. So what it does, this inner or the archetypal logician, as I call it, or saboteur, is to use any sort of logic and linearity, so basically linear thinking and logic, on you, so you don't take that step into quote unquote unknown, into new. So you don't make, let's say, that investment, or your client won't make that investment. So this is how this type of objection will show up in your clients, okay? So it will, the main one is, I'll have to think about it. I'll have to think it through. Thinking through, because for that aspect of you, it wants to, everything needs to make full sense. And it wants to have everything like nearly put up, like this is step X, this is step B, this is step C, it's like it wants to know all the details. It wants to be all known. It wants to function within the logical space, what we know, within our comfort zone, who we are right now. So if you keep getting this type of objection, okay, I'll have to think about it. And all of that stuff, for instance, it can sound like, you know what, I'll do this, or whatever it is, I'll invest in your product and service. But first, I need to, I don't know, finish my previous course or previous coaching or previous whatever, because linearly I will need to do this later, so putting it in linearly logical sense. So it will use any reason, any logic to stop us from taking that step into the new, into unknown. So if you keep hearing this again and again, like I'll have to think about this, or the logical stuff, even though you know that the client is leaning in the direction, but this is how they're talking themselves out of it, then to clear the mirroring, the energetic field, you need to look at yourself when you're doing the same energy, okay? So where am I overthinking my decisions? Because you know what's going to happen when the client will go and think about it for a week or two. What's going to happen? Or what happens when you are thinking about it again and again and again, like when you're thinking it through? we of course will talk ourselves out of it. The saboteur logician is very powerful. It's a freaking trickster. So the more we think about it, even, and I'm talking about here when we already know it's right for us. So like I'm leaning, I know this is right for us, for me, but let me think about it. So more we think about it, more we give power to our logician that wants to protect our sense of identity. So it goes, no. So it will self-justify itself with some form of logic. You will self-justify. Why not? Why not? Because it doesn't make full sense, because it's, first you'll need to do this, then you'll need to do that. It will make more sense if you do it later. It will make more sense, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So to clear it, you're going to first look at honestly where you're running these type of patterns in your business and life. Where am I giving over, like excessive power to linearity and logic and making sense? Because or at least big part of that huge success, transformation, growth, whatever is it that you want, whatever it is that you dream about, it's outside of what we know. It's always outside of what we know. There is unknown. To really lean into your true desires, true growth, true transformation, true quantum leaps, etc., etc. You've got to step outside of what you already know. Of course. So the question is, where am I giving too much power to my logical mind that I need to know everything and it needs to make full sense? Linearity, step by step. I want it handed on a table. Everything needs to make full sense. Where am I doing that? Where am I doing that? Where am I making myself small like that? And when you identify, and please, you don't need to dig deep into these questions, into these reflections. Yes, feel into them for a few minutes, but where am I thinking too much about my decisions? Too much. Where am I talking myself out of my decisions? Is this type of energy that you want to honestly identify within yourself? Again, if and where you're doing it in your business and life. And it's when you break those energetic patterns, i.e., you consciously do exact opposite. No, like for instance, okay, such and such thing, I know it's right for me, but there is lots of unknown. Or there is some unknown, but I acknowledge I don't need to know all. I cannot know all, and it's okay. It's okay. I trust myself enough. So you break this pattern somewhere in your business and life. You'll do exact opposite. Opposite of logician is, or logician consciousness and saboteur is really magician. It's the energy of anything is possible. Anything is possible for me. Anything is possible for me now. It's pure creative consciousness. When you learn to believe in your inner creativity and in your real desires, a real vision for business, for life, for what you're here, more than the logic. It's got to be the guiding, the more active. It's not you don't want a logic at all, of course, but in the right place. So that's how you'll break it. So you step into that unknown, so you stop overthinking. So maybe you take more swift action towards where it's calling you, but you start eliminating this pattern internally so it doesn't have to show up again and again through your client sales objections. Okay? So that's how you clear mirroring or your energy field in regards to this second type of objection. The third type of objection, if we simplify it, it's something around lacking trust. The client is lacking trust in themselves, is not developed enough trust so they can say, oh yeah, I'll make it work. So it's the type of objection that will be like, I'm scared that I won't make it work. So then, it may even, it's basically the wounded inner child, undeveloped, wounded inner child. So it may sound like, I'm scared that there's too much. There's too much of me, like a little child. It's gonna be too much. I won't make it work. I'm scared that if I take this step, even though it's right step, then it's catastrophe will happen. The inner child, the wounded child will catastrophize what will happen after I take this step. So all the possible scenarios that might happen. It may sound like, it's too much on me right now. It's too much on little me, too much on little me. So it all stems from undeveloped trust within self, because we're like little children, like you help me, the inner child want all guidance, all hand-holding, all, please help me, all approval, all of that. So then, if you're getting these type of objections, I'm scared I won't make it work all the time, they're like coming to you all the time, or it's too much for me right now, it's like too much responsibility, perhaps. I'm scared I won't make it work. Then again, you want to look within yourself to clear the mirroring aspect of it. Where is your wounded child taking the charge without you even knowing it? Where is your little scared child that is so scared of unknown, that makes monster out of dark, and like it's scared, like it will be too much, has underdeveloped trust in self? Where is it running your business and life? You want to look at it honestly. And when you identify where, then you start stretching yourself. You start again doing something that will take you in the opposite direction, that actually you have enough power to go into unknown. You don't have to take all that responsibility on little child. There are no monsters. When I look at those monsters, it's actually something much smaller. So you again start taking steps in different direction. Okay, so reflect on this a little bit. And the last type of objections comes from the inner archetype of prostitute, or commonly called, or if you like, the slave, the good girl in us, is essentially that aspect of us that is drawing approval and value through others horizontally, through other things and others. So basically this objection stemmed from not worthiness. Like, I'm not worthy, I don't have that value within me, so I drove it through approval, validation, etc. So this type of objection will stem from the not worthiness, and they will something like, I'm not ready yet. It's amazing, but I'm not ready yet. It's kind of, who am I to do this? It's or because I'm not worth it, I'm not worth it. I'm not worth this support, this amazing thing. I'm not worth it. That which is calling me, I'll do it myself, or I can do it on cheaper. So this is essentially prostitute archetype being active, the one that will struggle through life and business, like hard work, pulling the value through others, clients' results and hard work and how amazing you are, etc., without really stepping into the opposite of it, is high value woman, or the queen archetype. I'm freaking worth it because I am. I'm worth it. I'm worth the support. And that's why I choose this. So then, if you're getting repeated objections such as, I'll do it myself, or I'll do it, I'm not ready type of thing. So to clear the energetic mirroring, you will again have a look, where am I doing this to myself? Where am I really putting myself down, seeing myself for much smaller, as drawing the value through others and telling not allowing myself the support and help and that I could have, that I deserve. Where am I doing that? Whatever you identify, again, you want to eliminate or break this energetic pattern, because otherwise it will keep playing up in your life. All right. So this is in a nutshell how you clear the mirroring, energetic mirroring, so that you don't need to hear these objections again and again. You do this work. This is the main work. You will do that first. And again, I will tell you, it's not about digging. It's about reflecting, briefly but powerfully on these patterns, how you are practicing them yourself in all areas of your life and business, and then making adjustments so that your energy will be more powerful. You will essentially become more, and therefore your clients will be reflecting that as well. And therefore, because you will become more, of course, you will be also activating different aspects of your clients. So, you will not be activating unconsciously the aspect of your clients that are more vulnerable or weak or victim-like, that can't afford it, blah, blah, blah. But you will be the same clients, but you will be over time more and more activating the aspect in the clients that are resourceful. It's the same people, same audience, but you will be then, as you break that mirroring inside, you will naturally be activating clients that are not waiting, that are not going to think it through for a week and talking themselves out of it, that will not give into like, oh, I'm not worthy of the support, so I'll do it myself, or I'll do it cheaper. So that's essentially a process of becoming. Okay. So that's one way of eliminating objections. Now, does it mean that you will never, ever hear objection again? Of course not. But the impact of those objections is different, and there's far, far, far less. Remember, it's okay to support your clients then, to help them overcome their real fears. So the second way, how you, if you like, eliminate these objections, apart from mirroring, it's through essentially linguistic coaching. It's about, when you are there with your clients, remember first, help them to decide for themselves whether they want it or not, whether they choose it or not. Help them. But if they choose it, yes. And it doesn't matter if it's yes or no. Do you really, this is the question, do I really choose this now or not? Not one, it's in the middle is not useful. But if there is like real leaning into, yes, this is right for me, I want it, but I have this fear, or I have this, I can't afford it, then you can coach them around it linguistically. And it's actually very, very easy. You will tell them on a plate, like exactly what this is. Like I approximately showed you here, you will show them what is, you will guide them what it is. Okay? So, example, I cannot afford it. If I hear this, something like the genuine client who genuinely wants to do something, I first check, and maybe with different fears or objections as well. I first check with them. Can you please share with me, is this really true? Or think about it a little bit. Is this really true? Or is this masking something deeper? Is there something else? Is this really true, or is it masking something else? Maybe a deeper fear or something you're not sure about. Because typically, the affordability is, why would client even get on the call with you? Or, if there wasn't like a way to invest in what you're offering. Affordability is really more of psychological. So if clients chooses, yes, this is for me, then, and maybe you can sometimes coach your clients into it, make that decision, and then ask yourself, how can I afford it? But most of the time, I can't afford it is not the real thing. It's just they're scared. They're scared to invest. I recall my one of the conversation a long time ago, but this was so very strong, So we talk with a client about one-on-one coaching or a few years back. And she said, I really want this, but I don't think I can afford it. It's like such a big stretch. I can't afford it. And I literally just asked them, my darling, can you just feel into this? Is this really, really true? Or is that something a little deeper? And she goes, yeah, you know, I'm scared that I won't make it work. I won't make it work. So, okay, let's talk about that. Anyway, we talked about that briefly, and she thanked me. I said, you know what? Thank you. She stepped into the container. She said, thank you so much for holding me in my power, because my previous person I talked to, like coach, potentially that she would go into this, the coaching, they just took it as it is and like took her for less powerful. And the first time they accounted for it, they said, fine, okay, you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. So it's always worthwhile to check it. Is this really true? And it comes with a different objections as well. Is this really true? Or is there something deeper? Is there some unresolved fear or doubt or anything like that? So you can linguistically help them to coach them through it. And again, if the client is like, okay, look, I really don't have all the money. That's the truth. I really don't have all the money. So it's always, I'll say, look, you know, just decide yes or no, help them with that. And then you can put your frame into mind differently. How can I do this? So again, pulling back the victim, pulling, you know, the not giving the power of victim, because you'll be surprised. And I'm sure you experience something like this again. When we go from, oh, poor me, I want it, or I choose, I really desire it, but I can't, to how can I? I decided it's mine. I decided it's me. How can I? Miracles can happen. Different possibilities, different solutions will show up, but it needs to come from suppose, yes, it's mine. I'm claiming it. How can I, rather than, oh, but I can't. Poor me, but I can't. So yes, maybe you may want to help your client with that. I'm going to say a little disclaimer here with how much you're helping your client with that. Because I personally don't hard by choice. I don't work hard. I don't work too hard to help client through these objections. Yes, I'll show them honestly, help them to see for what it is, this fear, what patterns are these, you know, what they can do, you know, if they can't afford it, or if this or that, you know. I'll help them through it, but I'll let them do mostly their own work. Because if I was there sitting with them for a long time and maybe, you know, like coaching them through everything in a detail and what next and what's next and what's, you know what, I would have to work equally hard when actually client steps invest into my work. Do you really want that? How much more empowering it is when the client will do a little bit of struggling through it, struggle through their mind, meet their ego mind, meet their fears, and actually go through them themselves, rather than having you feel like you pushing them up the hill through those objections. I don't like doing that. You would have to continue doing all of that inside of whatever you're selling. And it's not worth it to me. It puts us in prostitute archetype, like I'm pushing them up over a devouring mother. So to me, it's not worth it. So I'll give them, of course, support, but typically they will need to do the work inside of their minds to meet their ego and do actually work to overcome the fear and to eliminate that barrier towards the herself, the yes, you know, like, yes, I'm giving myself to it. Okay. Anyway, so that's how you can linguistically, is this really true? Is there anything underneath it? And then showing themselves for what it is, just in a similar way, how I asked you, you know, okay, I cannot. Where else are you? Is this the first time you're telling yourself that? Where else has been that pattern running in your life? Like where are you giving your power away? If that's the real objection. Not safe, so logician type of objections, such as it doesn't make sense, or you know, what, I'll have to think about it. I'll have to think about it is the biggest one. I'll have to think about it. Why don't you ask? Okay, do you know what you want to think about? Because they may as well tell you there and then, okay, they'll show you the real stuff, what's bothering them, and you can give them a little bit of help, linguistic help. Having said that, as long as I'll make sure that the client understands that thinking about it and linear thinking and all of that is oftentimes our saboteur, wanting to protect our sense of identity, I'll still allow them to, as in, I'm again not working too much to let's bring it all now and let's talk for hours so you don't need to think about it. I'll still let them do their work. So I'll ask my client, of course, because it feels more empowering clients. Okay, how long do you genuinely feel it's right for you to make your own decision? How long? And they will tell me, I don't know, 2 days or 24 hours. Say, fine, go and stay with yourself for that time and make decision by then. Think about it. Just be aware who you're talking to. So again, not doing the work for them, but empowering them. And if they say like, I need 2 weeks, then you would bring them back into place. 2 weeks? No way you're going to have powerful conversation with yourself that lasts 2 weeks. You're going to absolutely talk yourself out of it or give in to your logician. Yes? So that's how you can, roughly speaking, support your client through. But again, these are just examples, because there and then, I'm telling you, as long as it's from place of, I'm not here to convince client, I'm not here to fix client, I'm not here to even, like push my clients so they overcome the objections. If it comes from place of I'm empowering client here, showing them where they're hurting themselves, how they're limiting themselves, what this really is, and what they can do so they stop hurting themselves like this, then the words will come. The words, the coaching will come. Okay? I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I actually had that today. Today I had a really beautiful, brief conversation with one gorgeous, powerful woman that is considering stepping into limitless entrepreneur. And she said literally, Lenka, I think that I'm not ready yet. Like, not yet, I'm not ready. And I simply ask her, okay, let's think about this, think about this. What would make you ready? Or what is it specifically that is not making you ready? And then she was thinking about this, bloody hell, this is like crazy, because I was thinking that maybe I would be ready if I when I leave my current commitment that I have. But then it's about circumstances lining up, isn't it? It's like, no, actually, that's probably how I'm seeing. She coached herself there and then right away, acknowledging that she was in that place of not worthiness. So it came up with, I'm not ready. You're not ready yet. Again, helping the client to see it for what it is. I'm not readiness. It's, again, it comes from lack of worth. Yes, as in it's a decision. It's a decision. I'm ready. I'm ready to live my best life. I'm ready to step into my vision. I'm ready to grow my business, whatever it is that you sell. I'm ready. I'm ready. It's a matter of decision, matter of perspective. So that was very, very easy. So again, just help them to see it for what it is. And similarly, let's do one more. Okay, but first I'll need to implement all that I know and, or finish this, finish that, I'll do it myself, blah, blah, blah. So again, even from this conversation, you have better awareness of what it is. Lack of worth. Not lack of worth, but, making ourselves unworthy of support so I can make it cheaper. I can, I need to implement what I learned first. It's all of that. So help them to see it for what it is. Help them to see it for what it is. That's all. And let them do a little struggle with themselves, with their minds, because it can be the most empowering journey for them. It can create, this is where I love sales, don't you? And this is where the objections, it's amazing thing, because when the client will see through the illusions, and that's what it is, illusions that's holding them small. It's immediate energy, it's immediate change, immediate empowerment. It's just like powerful woman. I told this this morning, you know, that I'm not ready, you know, and she had more. It's like, oh my God, I already feel like I'm changing. Yes, because you are. You're stepping into more value, self-value, more power. So this is what it is. The words will come as long as you're there with love and honesty, just showing them on the plate what it is that they're doing themselves. All right? So that's the second way. And very briefly, because I have only a few minutes left, the third way of eliminating that sales objection is commonly it's called preempting objection. So this is basically when in your marketing, in your selling, you already preempted those objections so that the client will almost don't have opportunity to ask them. So for instance, something like technical example of that would be when I was opening opportunity to go to Limitless, to step into Limitless Entrepreneur, which is group high-level mentorship program. I said something like, you know, for some of you may be asking how much one-on-one support will you have? Of course, you may be picked up on a hot seat in a group teaching, but this is not one-on-one container. You know, I had a client that she was actually in her mind, it was like a major barrier because, oh my goodness, I would love one-on-one, direct one-on-one coaching with Lenka, and this is a group coaching container. But what she didn't know yet, just how much more powerful it can be when you have different perspectives, and how much we can coach, get so much more value out of group coaching. So anyway, she overcame that limit in her mind. Okay, even though it's not one-on-one coaching, it's a group coaching, I'll step in. And later on, she shared just how she's happy that she got over self to it, because not only she got so much more support that she ever could expect, but also her business and everything got into different place because she learned so much more about herself and made so many changes, etc., etc. So this would be preempting objection around you know, but is there one-on-one support, or group support may not be as powerful as one-on-one, let's say. Okay, so it would share this story, which is a real story, by the way, so that objection probably won't come later on. So you could think about, of course, about the possible objections that your client might have, like fears that might have, or what may be a barrier that might be from them to saying full yes, stepping into that which you're offering, and see if you can preempt them, maybe cover Q&A on your sales pages, or include stories in your marketing or whatnot. So that's the technical way. But really the preempting, energetic preempting of sales objection is really about really being in a full power and value and love when you create your offering, market your offering, and selling offering, and helping your clients to connect their heart, like emotion that's calling them, with their head. So I'm not going into this in detail because this is the work we do in our programs, but also we did effortless selling. You know, this is about really aligning who is selling, like yourself, aligning the product with your soul, with your high self, and really be in a full value of it, aligning your client, and then really being in such a full value, understanding yourself, what is the value of your offering, so you can clearly communicate it, not just for the client's higher mind. Of course, we make decisions based intuitively and emotionally, but help them a little bit so the head will be more satisfied as well. Help them. So when, yes, they get that initial pull into your container, it will also make sense why, you know. So this is about powerfully communicating your offering because you understand the power. This is about true benefits of that which you are, because you know those benefits, and powerfully communicating them. So rather than saying something, you know, and you will get, I don't know, you have some container where you will have in between Telegram coaching, I don't know. So it will be, and yes, you'll have a Telegram coaching so that you can continue making that 1 degree shifts and changes every day. Let's say benefits-driven language and full value. But that's your work first. You've got to be utterly in love with your product. It's got to come purely from your creative consciousness, not from reactive consciousness. And you've got to then, when you know those benefits, true benefits communicated as well as potentially the cost of not doing it, you know, for yourself. Know it yourself. So this way, through more and more, when in your market creation, marketing and selling, there is more love, more certainty, more power, then altogether, it really empowers the clients, even if they have those objections or those fears, like they're so much more empowered to invest and step into that which you're offering. They will overcome those sales objections or barriers or fears in their mind so much more powerfully. So that's what this kind of, I consider energetic preempting. It again starts from who you are. Okay. Whew, all right. So I offloaded myself here. That's what I'm going to leave you with. I will love to hear from you. What are you taking away from this? What are you taking away from this? How you're going to really change your approach to objections handling or eliminating, and what's going to change? I will love to hear that. For now, wishing you the most wonderful weekend ahead.